Hi, KY.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Well, we were just having a guy on. He was calling in to, give credit to Anonymous and say, kind of try to guess at what it is that you are doing and what you're going to do next and what you did to this point. For people who might not be familiar, in shorthand, you're one of the people who you're one of the Anons who screen captured a lot of stuff, right? A lot of tweets that these athletes had sent around, correct?
Actually, I stumbled across the screen captures thanks to a New York Times article and the Printy blog, and I used, basically, I weaponized media is what I did, and I used the media to spread a story that was getting swept under a rug in a way that these other places were just centrally telling the story. I told it worldwide, and in connections that I had with media from past operations like Hunter, with Hunter Moore and whatnot. So I wanted to bring it to light that way it couldn't be swept under the rug.
I just want to say how, I think that what you've done is like kind of renewed my faith in males. I mean, because I was kind of losing it, I mean, from Hunter Moore on down. These kind of predatory males who are all over the internet just preying on women, and women are even afraid to go on Twitter and Facebook because of this. And you took a stand, and you are part of, you are kind of like a white knight, and to me anyway, and you've taken a real stand against something that men don't normally take a big stand against.
Well, I appreciate that. It's really, I owe a lot to my team and those who help work with me, and the newer members that are coming on board now, and all the new Anons that are kind of born out of all these ops. Because, everybody's pitching in, everybody's grabbing a shovel, so to speak, and just really showing that chivalry ain't dead and we can all rise up and, overcome corruption and stuff like that.
It's just so thrilling to me. I'm an old woman, so, it's just a big shift in consciousness that you have become part of and that you've allowed and that you've pushed forward. And, I'm just very honored to have you on here and to support you in any way I can, which is basically just retweeting or other things that I can do. But, boy, the flow of information and the speed that it goes out is just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And it's, like I said, I'm weaponizing media. And, a lot of Anonymous don't agree with media attention, so to speak, because they see it as attention, but I see the media being able to use as a powerful weapon, and I think a lot more are starting to get that now, including, even the fabled Commander X has seen that now and aligned itself with OpRollRedRoll. So I think the sooner that we all bring a positive light to the change that Anonymous is trying to do, the fact that the rest of the world won't believe it whenever some corrupt bank corporation or corrupt government corporation goes, oh, Anonymous are terrorists. They're like, no, they're not. They organized the OpRollRedRoll. They organized Hunter, which proved that Hunter Moore didn't age-verify before he posted, in essence, posting child porn. That they fight for the 99%, and that's what we're trying to get across to people.
Well, we have to let people know, too, that the airwaves and cyber, they're owned by the people. They're not owned by special fat cat billionaires or special interests or any of those. Are owned by the people. So I hope that everybody in Anonymous does come to total agreement soon that's the way it goes. It's there for the taking. And information is the greatest weapon against ignorance and injustice has ever been. It's the only thing that's ever won any kind of battle on people's behalf, is the right information taken to the people. And, of course, that's why we have governments and churches and all that other stuff, is to keep the information away from the people so they can't act, so they're kept helpless and uninformed. So, yeah, this is a huge, huge thing. It's huge that you figured out that you can come to the aid of the people just with light and information. And boy, I hope I hope those wheels in Steubenville towards justice really do start grinding a little bit faster. Do you think there's going to be justice for this rape victim there?
I think now that there is a great possibility for them to have justice, definitely, because, like I said, all eyes are on them.
What do you think about what I'm saying, that, boy, if somebody's kid got beat up at a party where adults allowed underage kids to drink with no supervision, wouldn't people be suing them for their damn homeowner's insurance? I mean, anywhere in this country that would happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm overage, and, whenever I turned 21 some years ago, I've almost been held accountable for letting, maybe my 19-year-old friends come over and drink in a party getting busted. So I think if a cop comes up and says, you can get, 25 months in jail for doing this, and nobody even questioned the adults that were at the party, it was the assistant coach's house from what I'm hearing from the locals. And Coach Reno of the Big Red football team pretty much owns the town and the court systems, and I think had some involvement in the juvenile justice system too. And I got word from another local today that Reno tells all his freshman football players these words. He says, "I'm your God. If you ever get in trouble, use your one phone call to call me, not your attorney or anybody else," which I think is the greatest signal of corruption right there, that he can pull strings like that and just pick and choose who gets in trouble for what.
Check it out, though. The girl, the photos that they tweeted, isn't that child porn?
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, the photos that they've tweeted and sent out and the videos that everybody posted and recorded, I mean, they posted it to YouTube. And firstly, I just want to comment on, I never ever call anybody stupid, but I just got to call them stupid for this. Like, you can't not post child porn on the internet and expect not to get caught, especially on huge websites like YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. And the fact that they circulated it makes them trafficking child porn, which is a crime. Them present makes them accomplice, conspiracy to commit criminal activity, all sorts of things.
Well, I'm surprised that they dropped the kidnapping charge, because, I mean, that's definitely kidnapping when you put somebody in the trunk of your car and carry them unconscious to another party to be raped again, and do that twice. And how come the FBI doesn't get involved in this? The FBI's got a whole anti-child porn thing going. How come they're not coming in here?
I've heard that the FBI has been in Steubenville and around Steubenville, and basically brought Sheriff Abdallah there up on 6 counts of indictment in 1990 for extortion, all which got mysteriously dismissed. Mob connections and stuff like that. Personally, I thought mob was not even a thing anymore. It's 2012, but apparently it is. I was like, why? How does the sheriff stay sheriff? He didn't run against anybody last election. That seems fishy to me. Generally, a lot of people would run for a sheriff position. That to me seems like an intimidation tactic right there.
Seems like seems like they're riding dirty over there in Steubenville.
Yeah, and
top to bottom, kind of.
Well, Steubenville is full of great and good people. We all showed that yesterday with the protest. And
yeah, I do want to talk about the brave people there, and I also want to talk about the terrified people there, not just the guilty, who are a real small group, but I think they've effectively shut down, people coming, like I said, nobody's calling the homeowners insurance. Everybody's too afraid to do anything there.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, I get reports all the time, like people make egg accounts. Basically, they'll be Twitter egg accounts, and they're new, and they'll be like, keep me anonymous. I made this account so you wouldn't know who I am, but I have this information for you, such as where the parties were thrown and who's involved, who supplied the drugs, stuff like that. And I'll put this information on blast on the Twitter, and let me get a hold of that and questions that need to be asked. And of course, I catch heat for it because it's speculation. But if it's speculation, it's first-party speculation from the people that were there, and I always do make sure of that.
Well, it's a good. I like to let the good people of Steubenville who are the majority, the 99%, or more even, let them know that we feel for their terror and their fear to act in their own best interest and the own best interest of their kids. I mean, you must be really scared if you don't do that. And that's another reason why I commend you and want to also, say that, this is how we do it. We come to the aid of the weak and, people who need, backup, the ordinary citizens. This girl's family, all girls there. I mean, everybody must be just terrified. If I lived there, I remember when I was a little girl, my mom used to say, don't go down, you can't go down here if you're going to go there. Don't go down there because something bad happened to a young girl there. So we would avoid, like, whole areas. And, this story is so horrific that I think it's like psychological terrorism for all teenage girls and their parents and, teenage boys, everybody, fathers, mothers, grandparents. It is just so horrific that this girl, allegedly, I guess we have to say allegedly, it looks like she got drugged. It looks like somebody put something in her drink, and there's something else. Other people are alleging that her ex-boyfriend set her up and, said, go ahead and gang rape her because she's just a so-and-so.
You can't say anything but alleged, I'm sure, because of libel and stuff like that, but I confirmed that and posted the Twitter picture with the conversation from her best friend that, she's like, I won't say the name or whatever, but he set me up and he stood by while I got raped. And the man in question, I just learned today, him and another one that I can say because he was arrested, Malik, they both got dismissed. Like, their charges are dismissed. Prior to this operation even starting, their charges with the whole kidnapping and rape or whatever got dismissed apparently. And I want to know how that is whenever he posts the pictures, yet the court docket says he wasn't there. He took the Instagram picture. How do you take a picture if you're not there? Plenty of witnesses pegged him there. His phone pegged him there. No records or anything of his phones have been subpoenaed in the court docket. They haven't subpoenaed any electronics records. They haven't used any cell towers to triangulate locations. They haven't done any of that. They just basically said, here's 2 scapegoats. We're going to lock them up and hope nobody notices.
That's the thing that really, that is why I say be real careful in what you're, be real careful with this because, when you look at a bunch of athletes that have done this kind of thing and, and most of them are white, what is the percentage of the athletes who were white and stood by or had any knowledge of this?
There's a lot of white people that stood by and had knowledge of this. And, a lot of people have, that oppose this protest, that oppose the, us getting involved in Steubenville have called us racist, which I find extremely funny because I myself have dated 4 black girls and 2 Hispanics, and we have black people protesting with the white people for this. It's not a matter of race, and a race card getting thrown is just a last desperate attempt to, deter anything.
Well, I agree there, but when you've got a bunch of boys who are wilding, that's what they used to say, and one of them who's in jail is African American or a mixed race person. Then you got a double wonder who is getting charged, who's getting charged, and what does that mean? You know what I mean? You can't really brush off issues of race either, I don't think, because who's in jail?
Right, yeah, I understand that. And, in a sense, I almost feel for the 2 that are having to take the fall for everybody else because, like I said, there's plenty of crimes that were committed by everybody, including the distributing child porn, conspiracy to commit criminal activity, kidnapping. I heard she got transported across state lines to West Virginia.
Oh, I did not know it was against. I didn't know it was across state lines. That definitely calls for the FBI.
Yeah, definitely.
Transporting a minor across state lines for purposes of sexual, selling her, pimping her, whatever.
Even without her parents' consent, it's legal to take a minor across state lines without parental consent, too, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Man, this has a lot of weight to it. This whole story for our whole country, like, oh my God, for the whole world. It's pretty phenomenal that this is allowed to just sit there on the shelf. Didn't you have to go to Malaysian servers?
Yeah, well, Just Batcat is the guy that helped me on this operation. It's at Just Batcat on Twitter, and he was mainly responsible for the hack and the breach of the emails and stuff like that. And whenever we figured it out, it really wasn't even that much of a hack. We just really guessed the webmaster's password. He put it as Red Roll, like nobody would ever guess that. And we literally took his website over in 15 minutes. And then once he got control of it, he didn't ever change his domain host password. He changed every password but his domain host. So Batcat put it in Malaysia. That took a little bit of time for him to get back, but eventually by then we had launched StopBigRed.com, and we just posted the hack that we did on the site on there. Or I should say Batcat, because he's the one doing all the footwork for this. He posted the hack on there along with any information Occupy, any updates that we found in the case so far, stuff like that, just to keep the citizens updated. That way the truth can't be censored. And
isn't it kind of exciting that there's like actual free press? Boy, we haven't seen that for, I don't know. I think we had it for a week or two in the 60s, us old folk. But boy, to see free press that isn't there just to make a profit or to mislead people, but to actually inform people is very, very exciting. What's next? I want to ask you what. First of all, can you give your Twitter? Where can people find you?
Sure. It's at KYAnonymous. So that's at KYAnonymous, and they can also find Batcat and the rest of my team on Twitter. So that's at just Batcat, BATCAT. And, we can direct you to the rest of NightSec. I've been having to deal with some people who think that, I'm fame whoring for this op or whatever, and
I know.
kind of trying to get attention. So I've had to.
Well, you are trying to get attention for a real good cause, and and I think that that's fantastic, and that's what the airwaves are there for, to get information to the people. So when you're acting in the people's service, you have to be real careful of the people who come and condemn you. So that's what I'm going to say. Consider the source, and sometimes the source, that's all you need, because of course there are people that are calling themselves anonymous and who aren't. They're actually, spying on Anonymous or whatever. I mean, you've got some of everything on there. But consider the source. And I would say that acting in the people's interest to keep the people informed is about the highest thing you could do. And so I'm glad you're doing it, and I think you're doing a service. Now this the thing the other day where people came? How many people came?
WTOV9 reported very biased news. They said 100 people, but WRTF or WTRF 7 Channel 7 News there reported accurately. We had a head count, but between 300 and 400 came. Even with the major snowstorm, we're expecting more this Saturday, January 5th at noon, at the same spot. And we're actually in the process of trying to secure permits for the protest as well. That way we can use streets and not just the sidewalk. Sidewalks under U.S. Constitution, it's public forum. We can use that anyway. But if we secure a permit, we can set up music. We can set up, cookouts and stuff like that, and really just make it a celebration as opposed to a angry rally, and celebrate the fact that,
celebration of justice and freedom, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So where is that going to happen? Give us the info so we can show up.
It's January 5th at the Steubenville City Hall, directly across the street from that's the courthouse. That's where they gather. And and it's you'll see the statue right there. I think it's right off Market Street, if I'm not mistaken. I'm running on little to no sleep, but you can. I will post the full address and stuff like that on StopBigRed.com. I'll have that posted on there, and then I'll post the address on my Twitter too as well. Repeatedly, we also have a paper storm, which is handing out flyers and just plastering the city with flyers. I started that today, trying to get people out doing that. And a lot of locals are very receptive, and a lot of locals are hostile too. So you just got to be, careful with who you offend. Respect people who don't like your opinion about this. You got to respect them because they have a right to not want this to happen too. Everybody has rights. So just as long
I think anybody who's ever been sued for anything under their homeowner's insurance ought to be mad and show up too. Because somebody broke their arm on your front sidewalk and you have to pay them, but yet these guys get away with this. I'd be mad if you know what I mean?
Yes, I totally understand.
And if I had teenage sons or daughters, boy, I'd be out there. If I was a grandmother of teenagers, I'd be out there. Fathers, mothers, I'd be out there. I'd be getting everybody I could to come and stand there and say, what kind of a crazy system have we let work in our names and take our tax dollars to fund? That'd be good if people start doing that, don't you think? I want to ask you one question before I let you go, and I thank you so much for calling. But can I ask you what moves you to do all this?
Really, we all have morals, and no matter if Anonymous is doing government ops or no matter if Anonymous is doing moral ops, it's all about good and evil. It's all about bad and good. And a lot of people perceive us as criminals and stuff like that. But it's really just about bettering society, and even the people, the foot soldiers in Steubenville, a lot of them have criminal records, like one of the live streamers yesterday. And, one thing is for certain, this is wrong, and everybody knows it, and that's something everybody can agree on, whether a criminal or a CEO of a large company, everybody knows that this is wrong. And I think that the people that are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the people who change the world, and the more people that think that, the better it will happen.
Yeah, and also who changes the world are people who dare to come forward and do the work that needs to be done. And that's you. And I thank you so much for calling. And we'll continue to meet over there in cyber.
Yeah, thank you for hitting me up. We're all big fans. I grew up watching you, so maybe you instilled some of these values in me. Who knows? I like to think I did, because I did try to sneak some of that stuff in there. But thanks for what you do, and thanks for calling. No problem.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do I have other calls?